us for this conversation. I have with me today Yashwanth Kumar, who is the co-founder and Chief Technology Officer of MoEngage. MoEngage is one of the first mobile-first customer engagement platforms. And despite being one of the youngest players in the customer engagement space, MoEngage now sends over 50 billion messages to 500 million end consumers each month and counts companies such as Nestle, Samsung, Deutsche Telekom and Flipkart among its customers globally. So today I will be talking to Yashwanth about what are some of the technologies, especially how cloud is enabling MoEngage to offer great personalized experiences to its clients' customers. So welcome, Yashwanth.
Hi everyone, good to be on the show.
Great. Thank you, Yashwanth, for taking out time to be here for this Q&A. How things have changed from a customer experience perspective over the last few months. For businesses, customer centricity is about understanding the customer better through deep insights in order to be able to deliver a superior experience. And that continues to be. But in the last few months, have you seen any new trends that have come to light?
So I think from the customer centricity perspective, understanding the user to granular level is much more important. That's what we do. During COVID, I know, like you said, business have definitely got affected, but from the customers engagement perspective, I think we are seeing lot of users going online, right? And then we are able to see an uplift in some of the verticals, some of the users are not also using certain apps. It could be like, let's say, vacation based or hotels or these kind of things. But we have seen an uplift in the verticals like, let's say, e-commerce, right? To be specific, where we have seen a lot of very high trend where more people are coming online, right? That's one prominent trend that I've seen, and I think with this we are able to get a lot more information. The companies actually. The data is owned by the companies when some companies actually working with MoEngage. And with this, I think people are now slowly coming from offline to online. They're able to get more information about their users, right? I think this only will help them to send more relevant communication to their users in terms of, hey, this particular user is interested in this particular product or this particular category. So why don't I target this user based upon that?
All these intelligent insights that help improve the customer experience are built on data. So can you tell us more about how you make that data talk with your customer engagement platform?
Data is a key word, I would say. It has been like this for the last 5 to 6 years or even more than that. So where with the explosion of, I would say, internet facilities, like especially cloud, we are able to store lots and lots of data. And there was some saying also that whatever the data we track, 80% of it might not be even analyzed so far. 20% is what we analyze, and then what are the insights we get is also limited from that. But I think with the cloud, the expertise that we get from the cloud, that's the game changer that we are seeing these days. With the cloud, there are first thing is to begin with data storage, right? So with the cloud, you're able to store, immeasurable amount of data, right? There is no limit in terms of how much you can store. And second thing is the cloud is already able to provide you better tools in terms of how to analyze this data, right? And then derive the insights from it, right? So this is where I think cloud has helped us in terms of analyzing the data, storing the data, and then driving the insights from the data. And then today, if you want to analyze, let's say, 500 million users in a day, right? You're able to do that easily with the help of the cloud, where you can easily launch any number of machines and then able to analyze. I think the cloud has massively helped before even, let's say, Amazon has come up into the market, AWS particularly, right? So everyone has to build their own infrastructure, right? Which is not actually possible to imagine you scaling or doubling your scale on a day-to-day basis, right? You can't even imagine that, like you need to prepare for that. But with AWS, you have this huge infra available to you, which actually where data is readily available. You can track the data in a proper fashion and then analyze it. So for us, at least for our customers, what we do is once they track the data, again, data belongs to the customers. So we make sure that each customer data is properly segregated so that proper privacy is maintained for each customer. And then we provide some, I would say, algorithms to the customers in terms of what is the best time they can send a communication to their end users, and what is the best communication they can send to their end users, right? So these are the different, I would say, tools, or I would say products that we are able to provide to our customers, where they can reach out to their end users through analyzing this data, understanding their customer data.
Going by the kind of client base that you have, I'm assuming that MoEngage on an average would be capturing and processing millions of customer engagement events for its clients. So why did you find cloud, and particularly AWS cloud, to be the most secure and reliable way to enable that?
Okay, so I think in 2014 when we started the journey, so we did not actually know that we would be dealing with that many kind of this huge volume of data actually. But at that point of time, what we knew definitely was AWS was the market leader at that point of time, or whoever was thinking of cloud, AWS was the best and safest option at that point, right? And I mean, so we took the decision on that day, and we don't regret, or I think we made the best decision so far by opting out for AWS as our infrastructure provider, where currently we track 500 million monthly active users, where we initially started with 1 million, and then this is the scale at which we are right now. And I mean, I said this earlier as well, I can't imagine scaling up in 6 years to this scale without AWS as our partner, right? So that has been fantastic for us. And so the main advantages that you can see from AWS is you can easily scale by launching any number of instances. So there is no particular limit in terms of how many resources you can use on AWS. So it feels like there is unlimited amount of resources. You just have to use them and pay for those particular usage, and you have to design your application in the right manner so that your costs are also limited. Otherwise, there is some side effect to it, but otherwise AWS has been pretty good decision so far. And the cloud actually plays an important role here in terms of the expertise that we get, right, in terms of maintaining this hardware infrastructure and hiring those talent here, and then maintaining those physical servers, right? And I don't think that's going to be possible at our scale, where currently we run around 4,000 servers on an average on a daily basis on our AWS account. So I don't think this is possible if you are planning to maintain this on your separate basis. So that's where I think cloud is the only option I feel these days, where if you are planning at this scale, cloud is the only option. I don't think anyone can build at this kind of scale in their own infrastructure.
Going by some of the nuances of your business, from what I understand, the volumes or the loads that you deal with depend a lot on your customers. For instance, when there is peak shopping periods for your customers, the volumes would be really high, and similarly there would be some other nuances. So how does that make cloud the right fit for powering your customer engagement platform?
Yeah, so I think whatever you said is right in terms of, we currently deal with 300 plus customers across the globe, and we don't know in terms of what kind of traffic our servers would get at any given point of time. Let's say a customer decides to send a communications to their customers. Let's say typically push notifications are the latest trend that has been a trend and effective medium that we have seen where every company would send push notifications to their users, and once you receive a push notification, their users start using their mobile application, right? So once that is done, so let's say you take an example, like you send a push notification to 1 million of users, right? So all those users will get, not all those users, but probably 10% or 20% of those users will get online immediately, right? So this is where I think again cloud and AWS helps here is you can immediately launch, and auto scaling is the best feature I'd say, where AWS has been I mean we have been fortunate to have that, where with auto scaling, let's say you don't need machines, you don't have to use them, or if you see traffic for your services only, then you upscale your services, and then that's where cloud actually helps, where in terms of spiky traffic or in terms of, let's say during the night, we don't get traffic at all. That's when you can shut down the machines and reduce your cost. When it's needed, you can launch the machines and increase your cost, but also deliver good customer experience, which is actually needed, right? So, and cloud also helps with, actually one of the important things is security, right? You don't have to maintain your own servers and then also be responsible for their security, like so you don't have to worry about theft and natural disasters or these kind of things. I think AWS has planned out these things properly, and you can sleep tight in the night thinking that, hey, AWS is in charge of all these things. You just have to worry about how do you utilize these machines, how do you scale up and scale down the machines, what kind of designs are you going to use, given that there are a lot of services that AWS offers. So I think this is where I think on a high level, spiky traffic is usually maintained by us or any other company, and who is on cloud actually. And this is where it is a I would say a balance between costs and the user performance that is actually fantastically provided by AWS.
MoEngage calls itself an intelligent customer engagement platform. So what I'm really interested in knowing about is the intelligence, the engine that powers that intelligence for your customer engagement platform. So can you tell us more about some of the advanced AI ML services from AWS that you use, and how does that enable you to, offer more personalized and offer deeper customer engagement to your clients?
Understood. So I think with the inception of MoEngage, we've decided that we'll not be sending just any communications to the users. We'll be sending relevant communication to the users. At that point of time, our main motto, and it's still our main motto, is to send the right communication to the right user at the right time, right? So with that into perspective, we started providing a way for marketers to actually understand their users better, right? And then eventually we realized that, hey, it's dependent upon marketer of how much they can analyze the data and then get the insights and then send communications to the users. But what if we provide automatic intelligence over it, and then take some effort away from our team, so that we can, as a platform who actually has a lot of data about the customers, can decide what is the best time that you can send a communication to the user, right? So that's where I think in total late 2016 is when we launched our first product, Sherpa. We called it Sherpa, where it's an intelligence platform, where we first launched our product saying that we'll identify the best time to send a communication to the user. You just send us the message, or who do you want to target, and we'll take care of the rest, right? So, and after that came into picture, then we started worrying about what is the best message that we can send to the user, right? And that is the next thing we worked on, and that is the service we are also providing to our customers. And post that, now I think a couple of years back, we launched a product called Dynamic Product Messaging, where we collect product catalogs from our customers, and then we automatically have the ability to put this product recommendations as a part of communications to our customers. So let's say you have something in your cart, right? So apart from reminding you that there is something waiting for your cart, we can also send 5 or more products, or like let's say multiple products along with this communication saying that people who have already brought this product have also purchased this product, right? So these are the kind of recommendations that we are providing to our customers right now, and most of the things are done by AWS personalized. So AWS personalized is something what we are using right now to deliver these product recommendations to our customers, so that they can see more value, and we need not have much expertise in this, but AWS has again put their expertise, and we're just leveraging that and able to give good ROI to our customers.
What do you see as the future of customer experience and the next frontier in customer engagement that will offer businesses and brands the kind of differentiation that they're looking for?
Customer experience has actually changed a lot from where when we launched MoEngage. More people are when I see what are the communications I receive on my email from different companies, and whenever I see the ads on television or some other places, right? So those are becoming more contextual. So that's where I think engagement is going towards, and then I think understanding, and everything boils down to understanding user to I would say I think very granular extent, right? I was watching a show on Netflix about social dilemma or something, I don't remember the show, but it clearly tells us what is the data that is being tracked by a social network, or what is the data being tracked by any online company, where how much do they know about the user, how much they can correlate among their users, right? It's kind of scary sometimes, but I think if it's used in the right way, can deliver fantastic experiences to the customers, right? Imagine you going to a site and then you land on that site next after a week, and then you are being shown some non-relevant I would say information to you. Let's say if you're a gamer, right, and you have actually gone to a e-commerce store, and let's say you spent half an hour browsing for video games or other things, and next time you land there and you're seeing some other recommendations about, let's say, apparel or some other things, right? So that sort of thing, it seems naive, and then that sort of data is already available to you, and currently with the cloud there is a lot of infrastructure is available for you to analyze this user and give some proper experience and recommendations to that particular user, right? So I think more tracking more data, understanding more data, and one more thing I think will happen is understanding the user from various sources, right? I think companies today don't have access to all the data of customers, what they're doing other than their app. But I think it's a double-edged sword, like in terms of how there is a limit to how much you want to know about your customers, right? So that's where companies have to be very cautious about how much data they want to track and how much data they might want to understand about their users, right? I see some companies show one sort of permissions in their screen but tracking something else. That's something they should be very cautious and very transparent to the users. Okay, you might be tracking something, but you should be telling to your customers that you are tracking this and why you are tracking this, right? I think with GDPR and COPPA compliance and other policies that are coming up, I think these are very favorable to the customers, where they are, unless you have a explicit consent from the user, you can't track any more data, right? So again, whatever the data we track is definitely useful, and then we'll definitely be able to deliver customer experience. I think a few other things that I can imagine is changing the experiences of the customer itself. Like, let's say you can imagine TV, right? While you're watching TV, your friend might be looking at a different itinerary and you might be looking at a different itinerary, right? and then similarly into how that's how something recommendations and user experiences are coming into right now. Let's say you open any Prime, not any, but if you open Prime Video, right? So you'll be seeing a different logins or first home screen compared to what your friend might be seeing, right? So that's a good example of I would say engagement going in the right direction, right? I think if that technology goes to all the other companies, right? I mean, we know Amazon is at a very huge scale and they can do all of these things easily, and making the technology affordable and then readily available for even a small company, right? I think that's the next 2 to 3 years is where I see companies focusing towards, and then monetizing that is the next thing that will definitely happen, right? People selling recommendations and user experiences, right? And I think AI and ML services are going to be playing a key role. And I think one thing again that's happening with cloud is they're able to get all of these things together. Whether once you store the data, they're making it easy for you to query the data. Once you query the data, they're making it easy for you to analyze the data. Once you analyze the data, they're making it easy for you to take actions on the data, right? Once you again take actions on the data, again it's a cyclic process where once you analyze the data, again what are the improvements, what are the improvisations that you can make on this particular data, right? So I think cloud and with all this new age algorithms and ML and AI services that are going to come, I think that's the next 2 to 3 years where engagement companies will bet on and then improve the customer experiences.
Absolutely, data is going to be critical, but at the same time, like you mentioned, with GDPR and other regulatory compliances coming into the picture, that is one area that organizations have to be really, careful about, and and incorporate that as part of their strategy, customer engagement strategies. And of course, like you said, AI, ML, all enabled by cloud is going to be the primary driver for all these new frontiers that we're going to see in customer engagement. So thank you so much, Yashwanth, for your time, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you, Shubhra. It was great speaking to you as well.